Alright, so after my last video, some people were asking how you actually install a mode in a Dreamcast. You might see a cut here or there because don't forget I have a really bad hand and I'm only pretty much doing this one-handed. But it's really, really easy to put an ODE in a Dreamcast. It's easier than the Saturn by far. The Saturn involves like ribbon cables and stuff like that and power connectors. It's about as easy as the GameCube, but the GameCube has a ton more screws. This, you will literally remove 7 screws from this overall. The optical drive is in a socket. Nothing else is connected to it. It's just in a socket. And you're just going to replace the optical drive with the mode, and that's it. And then you just put the screws back in and you're good. So this is an old Dreamcast. This used to belong to my buddy Hilden. I've actually had the mode in this already. This does not have any video set in here, like I don't have the HDMI or anything. It's literally just an off-the-shelf Dreamcast. So there are 4 screws on the outside that you want to take out, and the first thing is you want to take the modem out of this side because it actually covers one of the screws up. So you want to take the modem out. The modem's on every single Dreamcast. And you'll literally just, there's 4 black screws, at least black on this one. And you'll just pop them out. If you're not blind. I need one of those fancy battery-powered screwdrivers. And you want to use a kind of a thinner screwdriver as well. Because you have to actually sink down in. So, as you'll see here, there's a second one. And I'm using one with a magnetic tip. So there's the second screw right there. Set that aside. I'm going to try to do this in real time so you can see how easy this is, and I'm somebody that doesn't even have 2 functioning hands. So if I can do it, anybody can. No soldering involved, nothing like that. It's one of the easiest things I've ever done in terms of any type of work on a game console. Some of the other stuff that requires soldering and whatnot, I always send off to somebody else to take care of. And it costs me money. So that's it. 4 screws out. Flip it over. And this just lifts off. There's nothing connecting the lid to the motherboard or anything else. This is just going to lift right off and you can set it aside. That easy. Whoop. And now what we're going to do, this is the optical drive right here. So there's 3 screws that hold this in. And once we take those out, it's literally just going to pop right out of the socket. So the first one's right here. And you want to keep these screws because you can use these screws to screw the mode back in if you want to keep it held down. The second screw, so here's the plastic piece that stays between the power supply and the optical drive. There's one way down in here, but you can get to it pretty easily. Oh, hang on, I gotta turn so I have better view. There we go. And then the third one, gotta remember where the heck it is. Ah, here it is. Over on the side, there's a little tab that comes off of the metal base here. So you just want to pop this out. There's that. And there we go. So like I said, the optical drive is only held in to a small socket. So you just kind of rock it a little bit and it pops right out. And there you go. So there's the socket I'm talking about. right there. That's what the mode is going to plug into. And there's your optical drive. You might want to keep it around just in case, but quite frankly, you'll never need it again. I mean, what are you going to do with it? And then, here's the mode. So I've already secured the hard drive, the SSD hard drive, to the mode with some little screws on the bottom. So right there, right there, right there, right there. So it's firmly in there. You don't need to, but I like it. It's one less thing that can come loose if you're like traveling with your Dreamcast, taking it around or something. So this is it. If you don't want to use a hard drive, you can use a USB flash drive, which is right here. As you can see, the hard drive blocks it. So you can have either or the other thing that you can do is plug in a micro SD card, which is this right here. And the nice thing is the menu on the mode lets you switch between the three sources. So the SD card, and I've already talked about the SD card harness and everything. So here's that part of it that I got from Laser Bear Industries. And this has an extension cable for the SD card, and then you can slip it right in. So that's how you do firmware updates, and you can also keep games on the SD card as well. They work just as well. But I like doing it this way, so I'm weird like that. So you just pop this in. Now the mode comes with some of these plastic feet, like right here, and they have stickies on the bottom. I don't have it exposed for the sticky right now because this install isn't final, since I need to actually use a different Dreamcast once I get the video fixed. But they just pop into the mode, as you can see right here. I have one in there right now just to stabilize it so that it doesn't put any stress on the socket. And it's really easy to deal with as well. So you just bring it over here, and I just have to line up the socket, which is pretty easy. If I can do it. There we go. And there we go. That's it. Like I said, you can use the screws if you want that have the optical drive in there. I'm not going to do that because this is not my permanent install. But yeah, it's secured, so all I have to do is put the lid back on. Right here. So this is the front of the Dreamcast. Here's the back. So from the back of the Dreamcast, this is what it looks like. Make sure you don't touch the power supply, by the way. It might have some residual electricity in there. Just keep your hands away from it. And usually this just drops right on. Oh, there we go. And then turn it over, put the screws back in, and you're done. That's literally it. That's the entire process. No soldering, because I can't solder. I've never learned how to solder. No soldering, no nothing. No ribbon cables to connect. Anything. It just pops in like that. And my hard drive, obviously, I've already got it preloaded. The mode itself is, the one thing I like about it is the ease of use, especially compared to like the GD EMU. I think I'm putting this in crooked or something. Basically, on the hard drive that I have on this mode, I have two folders on it. One is called Saturn, and one is called Dreamcast. And that's where I have the libraries installed to. And you just copy over the ROMs, and you can put subfolders in if you want to do, like, you know, A through F and G through J or whatever. You can do any of that stuff you want, as long as you're using a readable format. Well, now I'm screwing up and putting the wrong screw in or something. As long as you have a format that the mode reads, you should be good to go. You may even have an image file that you want to put a like an English translation or something like that on, and that works just fine too. Just use the patcher and Google it. I don't know of any games right off hand for the Dreamcast that I want an English patch for, but they are out there and they are available. So, of course, now the screw is going to be a bastard. And the screwdriver I'm using isn't the greatest. Alright. But that's it. I mean, it's... I know I was talking to Robert on Facebook, and he was saying that he's not good at modding stuff. I'm the same way. The Saturn took me a couple of hours. Mainly because I didn't know that the ribbon cable was bad at the time, and I had to get a new ribbon cable. Once I got the ribbon cable, it actually went pretty fast. And one thing that I didn't know either is when you get the mode, it comes with a little card inside, and I thought the card was just there to show you the URL to go get the manual. And what I didn't know is on the back of the card, it actually shows you kind of the setup for the mode in the Saturn, because it's a little more complex just because they're different models, and there's like a 20 pin and a 21 pin, and I think it's kind of tough to decipher which one is which, honestly. But I had a real problem because there's 3 little power connectors that you have to connect up, and 2 of them you can reverse, and apparently you can fry the mode. And actually one of the guys from Terraonion thought that I had done that, but then we figured out that it was the ribbon cable that had to be replaced. I bought a replacement from an electronic supply place. It cost with shipping $5. It took a couple days to get, but it was all up and running after that. But yeah, that's it. Screws are in, and it's ready to go. It's ready to plug in and go. So there you go. There's the mode install, and that's with somebody with one good hand. Literally. It's very easy. And like I said, then since the optical drive is gone now, there's a big gap in here. So then this, when you put the whole bracket in, is going to set right in this, very flush. He did a nice job designing them. So that's going to sit in there flush, and it's going to look really, really good. And I got Dreamcast orange as well. So hope you enjoyed it, guys. Throw us a like, throw a comment if you have any questions, and if nothing else, we'll talk to you later. Thanks.